I was just sitting here thinking that we don't have enough villains in the world. We don't have enough people shaking the table, causing discomfort. We got too many people that's wanting to be the hero, that's wanting to save all the good people, all the people that they perceive as good anyway. And oh, the villain can just do whatever they want to do, I guess. When really, what it means to me to change the world is to sometimes you're gonna have to hurt some feelings. Sometimes you're gonna step on some pinky toes. Sometimes the good people are gonna get the worst end of the stick, perceived good anyway. And that's okay. Only if you are being intentional about it, not being deliberately nasty and rude like the president. He is a villain, but he's being nasty, rude, and just obnoxious towards you as citizens. I don't know why I broke that down. The United States citizens, from the citizens of the U.S. But then you have people who want to just save all of the good people, like just wrap everybody up in a warm blanket and put them in their bosom and breastfeed them when that's not what people need right now. I think that people need their feelings hurt. Cause let me tell you a little story. When I was younger, I I used to always get my feelings hurt. But there were also times where I would tell the truth and I would hurt someone's feelings. But I would get so I would get in really big trouble because I said something that I shouldn't have said. But how was I supposed to know that I shouldn't have said that when it's the truth? So I learned not to tell the truth. I learned to people please. I learned to coddle everybody's emotions, hold everybody's emotions on my sleeve and forget about my own and make sure that everybody else feels comfortable, make sure everybody else is okay, just people pleasing. When that was misalignment for me. I wasn't living in alignment. And I'm sure a lot of y'all are not living in alignment if that's something that you do. That's a learned behavior. We are not supposed to be holding people's feelings and holding the weight of the world on our shoulders. Like, we're literally just human. I am just a fucking girl. I cannot make sure that everybody is okay. That's just unrealistic. And you should realize that that's unrealistic for you too. My thing is, I'm not trying to hurt people. I'm just tired of lying. I'm tired of trying to hide the truth because I don't think that people are secure enough and can handle the truth. And I really feel like that's very mean of me. That's very mean of you, too. To think that you can't hold a mirror up to somebody and be like, this is you. This is what you're doing. This is why you have this outcome. Friend, sister, brother, mother, whatever. And it's rude to rob somebody of their growth. If we can't hold a mirror up to somebody and be like, hey, this is probably why you got this outcome. It's because you do this. This is why this is happening. It's because you do that. But we're all too afraid to express our truth to people because we don't want them to be mad at us. We don't want to shake the table. We don't want to cause anybody any discomfort. But now that I've shifted a lot, because I used to hold everybody's emotions on my sleeves. And I would make sure that everybody felt comfortable, make sure everybody was good, make sure everybody felt okay. Like, if I felt any tension in the room, I would try to ease it. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to that. The person with the big personality in the room is a lot of times not even like that in real life because They're only being like this right now because they learned that if they can be funny, if they can ease the tension, then they'll be likable, they'll be accepted. But that couldn't be further from the truth because that's being inauthentic. Now, that might be true to an extent. Yeah, you might be funny. Yeah, you might, have a big personality because I do. And that's truly me. Like it's not a performance. It's not an act. But when I do feel tension, I don't use my gift. I don't use me having a big personality or being funny or, you know, I don't use that to ease anybody else's tension. I just am. And if they still have tension, that's on them. I don't carry that tension. I don't try to ease that tension. I don't try to, cut it with a knife because that's not my responsibility no more. And once you realize that anybody's feelings is not your responsibility, it's just your responsibility to be the mirror. It's just your responsibility to be the truth. It's just your responsibility to be the villain. Sometimes people just not gonna like you, and that's okay. But like spending your whole life trying to be palatable, trying to be digestible, just to fit in, just to be seen, just to be heard, just to be desired, that paradigm no longer works. We no longer live in a society where performative nature like that is sustainable. We're too exhausted, for one, to be performing for people. We're too exhausted to coddle people. For so long, I'm sure you can relate to this. I know you can relate to it because you stayed here for this long, right? You probably, this is how I like to do. Like I like to create analogies, okay? And this is an analogy that just popped into my head. Say you are you have a friend and then you're the other friend and they're riding a bicycle without training wheels, but you're holding on to the handlebars while they pedal, but they don't actually know how to ride a bike to begin with. So they really shouldn't even be riding it without training wheels because they don't even know how to ride a bike. But because you feel like you don't want them to fall and get hurt and get scraped and bust their head wide open, you don't want them to have to suffer the consequences of them doing something that they don't know how to do, or you think that they can't hold it on their own. You think that they can't hold their own handlebars. You're an enabler. You're coddling your friends, your family. You're letting them know that they have to rely on you for that comfort. They have to rely on you for that validation. They have to rely on you as an emotional crutch because they know that you're going to hold it up. They know that you're strong enough to do that. And they know that they're weak, but you're not reflecting your strength. You're not reflecting your strength back to them. You're just keeping it all to yourself, and that's selfish. You're not allowing for them to grow. You're not allowing for them to become the best version of themselves. You're robbing them of that chance to be who they were meant to be, which is why you're in their lives. But because you are too afraid to turn the mirror around and show them, girl, this is what you lack. Girl, go and put them training wheels on because you don't actually know how to ride this bike. Like don't be afraid to tell your friends, your family, or whoever it is what they're doing wrong. If they've done it time and time and time and time and time and time and time again, expecting different results, girl, it's not working. You're the common denominator. Now, I'm not going to tell you step by step on what you need to be doing. I used to try to do that, but that only creates resistance within me and the other person. It makes them feel like I don't think that they know how to live, how to control their own life, and I'm trying to control their life. I'm trying to be a fixer. I'm trying to be a savior, trying to be a hero when I should be the villain. I should just tell them the truth so that they can go on their own and understand what that truth means to them, and not me trying to tell them what truth means. Ask the hard questions. Ask, why are they doing this? Why are you like that? You know, why? Ask them the hard questions so that they can go and figure it out for themselves. But that's you being the mirror. You're holding it up. You're saying, why are you like this? Who is that? Who is that? And you're not hurting their feelings, but you're also not robbing them of the growth that they deserve. And so whenever you whenever you can be truthful and be honest, not being nasty, not being rude to your people, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is setting them boundaries, telling them like, I can't be your emotional crutch. You're using me as this and I don't like it. Setting boundaries, they might think it's cruel, but it's really just you enforcing your boundaries. Don't just say it, enforce it. If they text you and you don't feel like talking, if they call you and you don't feel like talking, don't answer the phone. Don't text back. Like I have a friend who literally like I see the emotional weakness, and I love her to death, but she is weak emotionally. That's just the truth. She uses me as an emotional crutch. But because I have started setting boundaries and started saying no, started not answering her fucking calls sometimes, letting her deal with it on her own, I can see the strength. I can see the growth. I can see the fact that she doesn't come to me as much for things to figure it out, to help her figure it out, because she's getting stronger. But if I had continued to let her lean on me and me carry all the weight, she wouldn't know what it felt like to carry it on her own. And so she wouldn't know, she wouldn't be able to get stronger. It's like a dumbbell. Like if I'm behind you and I'm lifting your arm up with the 5 pound dumbbell, you don't know exactly how that 5 pounds feel because I'm helping you. So you gotta learn how to let people go and let people learn and fail and whatever it is. And yeah, it might hurt you to see that. And yeah, you can put your input, but at the end of the day, their decision is gonna be their decision. But when they have that outcome, you can't be that one that's gonna be there to hold them up emotionally. They have to learn how to self-soothe, if you will. So like, you might be telling them no and they might feel abandoned, but it's doing them a favor. It's really helping them grow as a person, and it's helping them like regulate their own emotions, because like I said, you can't be everything for everybody. You definitely should not be being an emotional crutch for anybody but yourself. And then you realize at the end of the day that you've abandoned yourself because you didn't do enough abandoning of other people. Sometimes you need to abandon people. Sometimes you need to tell their asses no. And it's not like being mean. It's not violence. I'm not saying I don't want to be your friend, but I am telling you that this is what you do, and I'm making you aware. I'm holding up the mirror. I'm making you aware of what you're doing so that you can shift that behavior and alchemize it, if that's what you're supposed to do. But if I'm holding up the mirror and then you still don't, and you get offended, you're going to be in a state of offense because you're shameful of the fact that you can't hold your own emotional ground. Then that has nothing to do with me. And now there's been times where that has happened. Like I've done that. I've held up the mirror. I'm like, you know what? I can't do it no more. I'm gonna hold up the mirror. Like previous friendships, and we're not friends anymore because I saw their shame. Like I saw like their deepest like shame, I guess. But it wasn't because I saw it. I was just literally holding up the mirror. They saw it, not me. I don't know what you're ashamed of. I'm just telling you, I'm just calling it like I see it, being the observer. And so, like, we just have to be okay with being misunderstood because that's just a part of growth. Being misunderstood, it changes your identity. Being able to grow, it shifts you. Like I moved from the East Coast to the West Coast, and and it grew me. It changed my identity. It made me realize that I no longer want to play small. I no longer want to shrink to make other people feel big. They can feel big over there, and I can also feel big. Okay? Like, I don't have to. Being humble is not shrinking myself. Being humble is understanding that I'm not better than nobody, and nobody's better than me. And I saw that on a video one of my followers posted, and I just really loved it. Like that inspired me. That triggered something in me, and I'm like, you know what? That's so right because that's literally how I've been living my life, and I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate. Like we think that being humble thinks that, oh well, I have to be over here in the sidelines, self erasure type thing. Like I have to literally erase myself so that others can be seen, because if I'm being too much, then others might not have the chance to be seen. And although we think that that's being humble, we think that's humility, that's really self abandonment. And I'll go into that on the next video, talking about how we consistently like abandon ourselves and in the most subtle ways. And that's like one of the ways like that we learn how to abandon ourselves by self erasing and thinking and disguising it as humility, putting a humility stamp on it. Like, oh, I'm humble. I don't think I'm better than nobody, but maybe you should think you're better than somebody. You should think that you're better than this. You should think that you're better than that. Maybe not better than, there are things, that I might do better than somebody else, and there's things that somebody else might do better than me, but that's because that's what God, that's the position that God gave us, and I can't erase myself because I don't want to do something better than somebody else because I feel like I don't want to hurt their feelings because I know how to do this better. You know what I'm saying? So like, be the villain, hurt these people's feelings. You don't owe everybody your gentle side. You don't owe everybody safety. You don't owe everybody this access to that part of you. Sometimes the only access that people can get is the part that they might be uncomfortable with, because we're not here to be palatable. We're not here to be likable. We're here to just be. Like, I'm here to just be who I am. Like, I'm not going to be choosing approval over respect. Like, I'm choosing respect over approval. And if that means I have to stand up here till my voice shakes, telling my truth, that's what I'll do. But I don't seek approval for it. But you are gonna respect me. What's that song about Khalees? Bouncy. Um, you may not like me, but you will respect me, cause I'm a boss. Seriously, like being quiet kept everybody's comfort intact because they know what you're capable of, but you don't know what you're capable of. And I'm gonna make one last reference before we go. You know, like how Superman be Superman, Spider-Man. I think I've seen Spider-Man more, but get rid of that. But you know how Spider-Man sometimes when he's flying through the air trying to catch the villain, sometimes the good people get stepped on. Like sometimes, sometimes stuff happens to other people who, like to innocent people who it didn't mean to happen to. But that don't mean that he meant to do that. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, I'm stepping on your toes, but sorry, but I have to step on your toes right now because this is where I have to be. And you're kind of in the way. Like, you're in the wrong place at the wrong time. So, like, you you're stepping, like I have to step on you because you're in the wrong place. And so, like, we trying to catch the villain. Look at all that snow, y'all. That's so crazy. We do not get snow in South Carolina, hardly ever, but it's so much snow. I haven't even been out there in it. I don't think I'm going to. But anyway, um, in order to get to the real villain, the true villain, which is people pleasing, self erasure, disguised as humility, self abandonment, all of those things. In order to get to that villain, those are the villain. You have to be the intentional villain, and sometimes the good people are going to get hurt. And unfortunately, for those people, that might trigger something within them to grow and to do the same thing that you did, to go and tackle the same demons that you're trying to tackle, but on their own time. So, I hope that this helps somebody. If it didn't help you, I don't know what to tell you. But I will say that this channel is not about coddling. I'm not going to hold your hand. This channel is going to offend you a little bit. And, I don't really apologize for that. I'm not intentionally trying to hurt your feelings, but we are intentionally getting to the real villain, which are the lower vibrations, the things that are keeping us stuck in these lower frequencies that are not helping us grow, that are causing for humanity to stay stuck and to stay stagnant and to not be able to evolve in the way that we are truly meant to evolve. Because if I can evolve in this way, imagine if everybody evolved in this way. Like, that's just how I see it. So it's like I don't mind being the villain in that in that aspect. So I choose clarity, even if it costs me likability, and I would rather be real than to be palatable and to be liked by people who don't even like themselves. So if you resonated with that, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend, and hopefully this did offend you. And I'll see you on the next video.